Hi, thank you for joining me for another Dear Sam Horse Help Horsemanship series. Something I wanted to mention because it was in discussion. I'm in the middle of a 6-day long clinic here in Uruguay, and it came up yesterday, was discussing the human learning journey. And of course, down here, there's much more limited access to variation in who's teaching what, even people who are teaching professionally within the equine world. That's a novel concept. But in talking to those who are seeking out information and discussing what are some of the challenges that they're experiencing, especially when literally it's so difficult to access information, even with having online resources. And something I think that came up that was interesting that I didn't bring up, but that was mentioned, and then we kind of delved deep into, was talking about giving yourself permission to recognize that you don't have to learn everything at once. That many times your initial understanding or thinking your understanding of a concept or taking the time to experiment with your horse, where you think you're starting off clear, gives you feedback to realize perhaps you need to delve in deeper, as I say, peel back a few more layers. And that the more layers you're peeling back with the horse as you're exploring in your own understanding, specificity and communication, sensitivity to an awareness to what the horse's feedback is, experimenting with addressing it, this whole sort of evolving process that continually happens as we refine our horsemanship skills, is that the more you are open to experimenting and trying and searching, the clarity you initially thought you had sometimes can get into the gray area, because sometimes we come in to think something with the horse thinking we're very clear. This is how we're going to ask, this is what we're going to do, and that the horse will understand. And then when we start to see either resistance or fear, avoidance, defensiveness, whatever the horse comes up with in his behaviors, it tells us that perhaps maybe we need to change what and how we're presenting things. The fly is going to join me today. But that this is not a negative thing. This is actually a learning experience for you in your own journey of what does it take to help the horse in this minute. So even if you've worked with the horse, the same horse for a long time or consistently or whatnot, it is not a negative thing to experiment. It is not a negative thing to recognize that maybe what you initially thought, will say it takes for whatever it is that you're sharing with the horse, to refine it, to continually search for how can I use less energy? How can I be more specific? Where are the places that the horse shows a subtle degree of tension? Even if initially it was super big and dramatic and today it's much better, how soft can we get this communication between the two of us? Can we have communication without either the human or horse having tension? So it was just something I wanted to share, that maybe think about in your own interaction with the horse. If you wind up finding yourself perhaps a little frustrated, or you feel your emotions kind of going up and down, increasing and getting maybe more exasperated or frustrated or whatnot, that often the more you're able to recognize and see and do with the horse, the more you realize there is to continue refining the communication and the specificity and the degree of support in which you can offer the horse. And that is not a negative thing. And that is why I always refer to horsemanship as a journey. It is not about a destination. It is not about accomplishing X, Y, and Z. It is not about obedience or submission from the horse. For me, for my alternative horsemanship approach, it is about a togetherness, a journey of how do I learn to work with this horse, support the horse, address him in a way that has value to him, to build his trust, his willingness to participate, to search, and to try. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.